My name's Andrew Baker. I tattoo at Main Street Tattoo on Main Street in Daytona Beach, Florida. I've been tattooing since 2022. So I first got into tattooing through some friends of mine. I was a barber at the time. They had seen some of my artwork. I'd always been interested in tattoos. I got tattooed quite a bit. There was a tattoo barber shop in the city I was in Melbourne, Florida. They had offered me an apprenticeship over there, and I went and spoke to the manager and started out cutting hair a little bit and going in, watching them tattoo and kind of learning the basics, and eventually was brought on full-time as an apprentice. Growing up, I drew a lot. I was really into like Dragon Ball Z growing up as a kid. I remember I got a Dragon Ball Z how to draw guide, like a book for Christmas one year. I would try and copy, like I remember drawing Piccolo and Goku, like some of my favorite characters. So I always kind of stuck with more like anime style if I was trying to draw characters and stuff. That was one of the things I really liked to do. And then in high school, I got into graffiti. I'd see stuff online and watch YouTube and just start out with like bubble letters and then trying to, just copy the different styles people did. And it was more of a pastime, not something I was like super focused on or thought I'd ever have a career in. Yeah, so I'd say my two main styles, or where I'm the strongest in and what I enjoy, would be realism and kind of a neo-traditional-esque type of designs. I like the real bold lines, solid color blending, a little bit of a more realistic touch on traditional pieces. And then my realism, that's what actually I struggled the most with, and I still learning a lot about. I try and make every piece a learning experience. The concept of open skin and the ratio of black to mid-tone to open skin is really something that I think is a fine art and takes a lot of practice. So when I first started doing realism, it was a lot of paying too much attention to detail, and I would just mid-tone a whole piece and it looked like garbage. With time, I've learned to put black where the blacks need to go and try and leave more breathing room for the piece. And it's kind of funny that they're like total opposites. I'd say, people would think being a barber gives you a lot of freedom, and it does, but this is like the ultimate freedom. There's nothing that, I can't think of another job on earth unless you're a business owner or some sort of entrepreneur where you have the freedom you have in tattooing. I genuinely just get to hang out with cool people and draw and tattoo people and give them an awesome experience is my job. I get paid for it. Very grateful. I don't know, I've always, I go by Drew Blessed Hands. I've always felt like I was good with my hands. I'm like autistic in that way. If I find something, if I'm building something or creating something, if I really put my energy into it, I'm good at it. So I've always thought maybe, some sort of like mechanical, I always liked, I used to think I wanted to do construction, like fine like carpentry and stuff. I wasn't cut out for being out in the heat and back breaking and moving heavy piles of wood and stuff like that. Something with my hands, I don't know. Maybe creating like action figures or, something to express myself for sure. There's a lot of doubt when I first moved here. I got into a shop. It was a good shop. Owner was awesome. Coming here, I learned like, as long as I just ask questions, look around, talk to people who've been doing this for a long time, it's helped me tremendously. I think I've gotten twice as good in the year and a half I've been here as I would have had I been anywhere else. Bobby and Bruno and Mike especially have been really good about, have any question or they think they can help me in any way, they're not shy to tell me. So that's really improved, made this to where I think I can make a career out of it. I can't say I couldn't see myself doing anything else because I do have ambitions to maybe own businesses and things like that, whether it be tattoo related or something else. There's nothing I can wake up in the morning and think that I would go do other than this right now. Whatever life gives me, I think I'll still always be a tattoo artist. And the team's just, the energy just works. We have our days, people might be cranky, but it really is like a family. And the hardest part is when someone's not committed or they don't know exactly what they want. So it's my job to kind of lead them into what I think is going to be the best outcome for what they're looking for. Sometimes people will kind of butt heads with you on it, and that's okay. Sometimes you got to compromise and kind of hear the client out on things that are important to them. Sometimes just getting people to see the vision, because I do this for a living. Most people who get tattooed don't really understand what goes into it. Reassuring them that, what I'm telling them, it may not make sense to them, they may not be able to see it, but by the time it's done, I'm confident that they'll enjoy it and be happy with it. Some people I can just kick it with. Usually I try not to talk too much when I tattoo. I get distracted easily. But I have those few clients that we've either been working on big pieces for a long time or, they just come in often and it's easy to just sit there and talk with them, and it's always a good day. Like, we'll turn it into a day session and just hang out. People, friends, family, they were very supportive, excited even to, everyone wants a tattoo when you're learning how to tattoo. I did on my own learn how to build coil machines, which I've totally forgotten how to do, but, I never had the, mentor come in, give me a broken machine in pieces and tell me, put this together and then you can tattoo. So in some ways I envy that. I think I might be in a better position today. but it's not a race, you know. So I've learned to just appreciate what I had and kind of work off of it.